All right, we'll go ahead and call our regular meeting to order. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda item or as directed by the president. The meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation's central office. This meeting will be electronically recorded and kept on file in the superintendent's office, and a copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. Just a note, all board members are present. And now for all of those who are able, please rise and uncover for the Pledge of Allegiance. Adam, will you please lead us? We are now at the point of our lease hearing. So the next item on the agenda is for the board to hold a lease hearing on the proposed lease agreement for the projects. If you are, did I miss something? Oh, I'm sorry. I did miss something. We need to review and approve the minutes from executive session memos from July 18th, so I would entertain a motion to that effect.
Motion approved.
All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. My apologies for jumping ahead. The next item on the agenda is for the board to hold a lease hearing on the proposed lease agreement for the projects. If you are interested, meaning the public, in speaking, please make sure you have filled out a blue public comment card. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about the lease rental to be paid under the lease. At the hearing, we will ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the lease rental under consideration. This notice of the hearing and the lease agreement was published as legally required. Is there a presentation? No? Okay. So we will now open the public hearing. Are there any blue cards about the hearing? There's none. Anybody want to speak? Okay. Thank you for participating in the hearing. We will now close the hearing and reopen the regular meeting. So could I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution authorizing the execution of the lease agreement?
Make a motion.
All right, Mr. Parsley makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. The next item is on the agenda is for us to hold an additional appropriation hearing on the proposed bond proceeds. The notice of this additional appropriation hearing was published as legally required. We will now open the public hearing on this. If you would like to speak, fill out a blue card. We ask that you state your name and address. Are there any blue cards? Is there anyone who wants to speak on this? Okay. Going once, going twice? All right, well, thank you for participating in that hearing. We will now close the hearing and reopen the regular meeting, and I would entertain a motion and a second to adopt the additional appropriation resolution.
Make a motion with
All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bailey seconds. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that carries. And I would entertain a motion and a second to adopt the resolution assigning design build contracts and bids to the Buildings Corporation.
Make a motion approved.
All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, and finally, I would entertain a motion and a second to adopt the resolution approving the first supplement to the Master Continuing Disclosure Undertaking.
Make a motion.
All right, Mr. Parsley makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bailey seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. We are now to item F, persons to address the board relative to the agenda. Okay, no cards. Does anybody want to? Okay. Human Resources, Mr. Unger.
Good evening. I'd like to present to you the personnel agenda for your approval.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the personnel agenda as presented.
Make a motion we approve.
All right, Mr. Parsley makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bailey seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Number 2.
I ask for your approval of the NLCS Administrator and Director Handbook.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the NLCS Administrator and Director Handbook as presented in our packets.
Make a motion we approve.
All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. I also want to thank Scott for helping me with some of the revisions and spending the time we went through it. But we got through this a lot quicker than the support staff book. I don't know if you remember how long that took. I think it was over a course of a year. But we feel really good about this, and it'll help guide our directors and our administrators. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mrs. Skinner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Did you all receive this for the Brightwell? Awesome.
Yes.
All right. I'm here tonight to present to you an opportunity we have to receive a free management software through the state. We were allowed to choose between one of the 3 that they offered. Software support the program. It's free of charge for a total of 2 years. After those 2 years, it does have a fee per child, and our hopes is to, at that time, be able to obtain a grant to be able to continue that software if we are wanting to. Its overall features of the software, but are not limited to. So we have the staff management, attendance and ratio tracking, which is crucial for licensing, educational tracking such as student lesson plans and those evaluations, marketing and enrollment, scheduling, and family engagement. Being able to utilize this management software will not only give us access to will not only give us access for better communication, but also enrollment. Gives enrollment for administrators to be able to access that more quickly. So I know some of the issues were that we were going back and forth trying to get numbers, things like that. This program will also be able to, so if whenever they need those numbers or anything, they can go into that software and they'll be able to obtain those numbers in a quicker manner. Staff and I are very eager and excited to have this opportunity. It not only will be better the program, but it'll also help us stand out better in the community, showing that our program is worth it.
Okay, thank you. And that's non-voting. Does anybody have any questions?
The per seat after the 2 years free, it looks like there's a schedule here. Is that like for teachers' use, or who gets those licenses? Is it per student?
Yes, and so that is a per student, and so it goes off of the enrollment. So we would be that 100 plus, so it'd be the $24 per student, and that is that's after those 2 years.
Okay.
Is this an application we get and run on our servers, or is it?
So this is a
just
software
licensed through online or something?
Yes, so it's licensed through online. So this is something that our staff would utilize through the internet, and so like they would utilize tablets in the classroom to be able to track those things such as diaper changing, feedings, incident reports, behavior reports, communication. It also has features that when if we have emergencies or things like that, it's direct contact to the parent so that it gets to them quicker.
It makes no sense to me that it's 100 plus, the price is higher than
I saw that too.
Is that completely
The more,
backwards?
the more people you enroll, the
Taxes
higher
more high.
per unit
Is that
goes up.
backwards to what you would think it would be?
Right.
Yeah.
It is, and it is on almost every software.
Yeah.
For management software.
And it
For
only makes it-
licenses, it's
really like
it's
it.
always
Yes, absolutely.
What are we looking at as far as implementation? Is this a this year type of thing
Yes.
immediately?
No, so this is something, so we had set up phases. So the first phase was for me to get Brightwell and get the application submitted and get the approval, which we did. And then after that, we moved to phase 2, which we're executing now, and which is getting all the staff enrolled and getting them set up, in which we have done that. And so our next phase would be getting parents set up. And during that, I will offer a parent info session after hours so that parents can come in and they can ask questions if they have concerns, or if they just need help setting up, we can do that at that time as well.
Did you pick Brightwell over the other two because you're already familiar with it, or it's easy?
I am very familiar. So I have used Brightwell in the past. I've used other management softwares as well, and Brightwell by far has excelled.
So probability of getting a grant at $24 a seat, using last year's enrollment, 85K or something like that. Is good chances of getting that, good odds? Or?
I'm very hopeful that there will be, especially since this is state funded. I'm hopeful that the state will have something to follow, which they normally do. If not, then our plan is to possibly either add it to tuition, or even see if we could find an alternate way of getting those funds.
Well, thank you, and welcome to NLCS.
Well,
Mrs.
thank you.
Skinner
I'm
is
excited
our
to be
new
here.
Playful Pathways director, and we've met before, but I think this
Yes.
is your first
Yes,
time
it is.
presenting, so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
All right, Mrs. Hines is not here, so who's presenting? All right, Mr. Yancey.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. We are asking approval for the Stepping Stones Group contract.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for approval of the Stepping Stones group contract as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Bailey makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Number 2.
Thank you. We are asking approval for Blazer Works occupational therapist contract.
Okay, I would entertain a motion for approval of Blazerworks occupational therapist contract as presented. Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you. Mrs. Hudson, elementary curriculum.
Good evening. I have a few agenda items tonight. The first one is approval of our August curriculum stipends, which you have listed.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the August curriculum stipend request as presented.
Make motion to approve.
Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mrs. Miller seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Number 2.
Thank you. Number 2 is approval of Just Right Reader decodable class packs for grade 1 classrooms at Dollins, Shoswick, Needmore, and Lincoln Elementaries. These will be paid for by our remaining budgeted competitive science of reading grant funds that we received last fall and that run out at the end of this month, actually.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Any motion we approve?
All right. Mr. Parsley makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bailey seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Number 3.
Number 3 is approval of Just Right Reader decodable class packs for grade 2 classrooms at Dollins, Shoswick, Needmore, and Lincoln.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make motion to approve.
Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Number 4.
Approval of High Noon decodable books for all 2nd and 3rd grade classrooms at Dollins, Shoswick, Needmore, and Lincoln.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make motion to approve.
All right. Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
So this hiding books, this is like a Western thing?
No. No, not a Western theme.
How about six-shooters and cowboys?
A lot of non-fic, not limited to Western.
All right, very good. Thank you.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 5.
Number 5 is approval of a partnership with the Lawrence County Economic Growth Council. There are pages of details in your packets, but it's approval of that partnership and a corresponding memorandum of understanding with the Lawrence County Economic Growth Council. This will be paid for with budgeted ESSER 3 funds, which are also set to expire very soon.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Lambert makes the motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Mr. King seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
Is this a continuation of something we've frequently done or always
We
done?
have partnered with the Lawrence County Economic Growth Council numerous times. They bring us lots of opportunities for grants. We have never put forth any funds towards that partnership. We have always only benefited. It's been a one-way partnership that we've benefited from all of their work. So this is putting some funds. It allows us to leverage our ESSER funds and then receive those funds really in return through the work being done with the Lawrence County Economic Growth Council.
Which does remind me, it would be great to see our grants tracking and applied for and received. I know
That would
think
be
about
great.
that every time I see
Yeah.
these grants.
I almost feel like we'd need another night because right now we have
Yeah.
13.
It would have
if
to
we
be like
count
a
federal and
dashboard that
local.
you
I
just
don't want to
give us-
discuss them. I just
Okay, you just wanna see
graphically.
them.
Like
Got
a
it.
dashboard you just give us access to. You don't have to proceed.
Like maybe some Google Slides with a list of what they are.
I
or something
remember
like
a
that.
data point that showed it. 2 years ago, it was, I don't know, 150K, and next year it was 75.
Mhm.
Those are made up numbers, maybe, but to show what the general trend is, how much we rely on those. Yeah.
My day job is managing a bunch of grants, and
Yes.
just having a dashboard where we can see would be.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
but you wouldn't have to come here and tell us all about it.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't expect you to do that.
Tricia, do you know if Mitchell is also providing the same amount?
I don't believe so.
Are they providing anything?
I don't have any information about what
So
they're
there's
doing.
Continuum between the two schools.
Yes. But these dollars will benefit Bedford North Lawrence, Bedford Middle School, and our elementaries. So this part of the partnership will come back to us. I really don't know.
And
Again, these
sat on
are-
this- I sat
The
on this
council should
committee
know,
and worked with them several, I don't know how many months we worked on it. So there is some good benefit to it, so there'll be some things that will benefit us. along the way, yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have a portion of our ESSER 3 funds that are meant to be used in this way that we haven't used. And so here we are at the end of this time to be able to use those funds. And the next agenda item is also related to those funds. But these were the two partnerships we chose to move forward with and put funds towards from our corporation.
Yeah, I think getting back to us a year from now, saying, hey, this 80K you
Mhm.
spent resulted in this much return on investment would be great.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, number 6.
Thank you. Number 6 is approval of continued partnership with the IU Health Coordinated School Health Program and Dr. Megan Shipley to extend through the end of the 27-28 school year.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Miller seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
This is in direct relation. Mr. King and I talked about this earlier in the week.
So
This is
this-
in direct relation to an MOU that was signed in February of 2022. So this follows that MOU.
Just an extension.
Yes, and Dr. Shipley is the person who services our county, services our district and Mitchell.
And Mitchell.
And she'll continue in that role
And this covers this the 2027, 2028 school year.
to the end of the 2027, 2028.
If she was to do something else, we would just get a replacement
Correct.
as part of the agreement.
Yes, we have the partnership, whether it's Dr. Shipley or someone else. We hope that, of course, it's Dr. Shipley because she's doing a fantastic job, and I believe she enjoys her role with us. So I don't foresee that person changing, but if it were to change, there would be someone else in that role.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, and last, number 7.
The last item is approval of elementary field trips for the 24-25 school year. These are K-6 field trips. There's a field trip for each grade level. These have been released to teachers, letting them know that it's pending board approval. Transportation department is wonderful in working with our teachers to make sure these trips happen, and we don't pay, the corporation pays for the transportation. They've done that in the past couple of years since we started having field trips again after COVID.
All right, entertain a motion to approve as presented, number 7. Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you very much,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Hudson. Dr. Erin Miller? There she is. Secondary curriculum.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm here to request approval of Jacob's Ladder High Ability Training with Gifted Education Services, and this would be paid out of our High Ability Grant.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented. All right, Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
One of the bullets here says discussing how to differentiate instruction using Jacob's Ladder.
Mhm.
Is that what exactly does that mean?
Yes, so
High Ability
Jacob's
teachers.
Ladder is a purchased curriculum for both our pilot and the other schools. And so while the pilot is just going to be working with those students, the other high ability students across the district are in a mixed group of high achieving and high ability. And so we want to give them strategies about how to use the curriculum in a mixed group setting.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, that's very exciting.
Thank you. The next item is approval of a partnership commitment between South Central Indiana Workforce Board and NLCS for our JAG program. And JAG is Jobs for America's Graduates.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve number 2 as presented.
Second.
Mr. Lombrick makes the motion. Mr. Bailey seconds. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. The next one is approval of NLCS testing procedures. There are no changes, just the forms were updated to the year.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve number 3 as presented.
So moved?
Mr. Parsley makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mr. King seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
I have a question. Under local monitoring expectations, it says monitoring log will be used, which includes information on the test administrator to student ratio.
Mhm.
Is there a recommended student ratio, or is that any kind of limiting factor, or is it just something we track?
To be honest, it depends on the test. So I know, speaking for College Board, the amount of kids that I enter into a room, at a certain number, I have to add another proctor or room monitor, someone who's undergone the training and, is certified to be in there. So I can't speak to the iLearn
That's
for
okay.
elementaries yet.
That's fine. All right.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right, any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
And then I will also be presenting for Ms. Kelly Terrell.
No, I thought she was going to walk away, but since she's still here.
Okay.
But with this capacity, in your secondary curriculum capacity, a little bit off script here, but there's been a comment period on the proposed changes to the Indiana diploma, high school diploma. I think maybe some of us made comments individually. Can you comment as a corporation or as a BNL high school what feedback and the periods on the feedback that are going into? Do you know those types of things? Is that something you're staying up on?
Yes, actually, I received a notification today about the second round of the diploma track, but I'm not sure that it can be discussed publicly yet because it's not been fully released.
No,
and
I
they haven't
understand
had
that.
any
I just want to make
changes
sure that we are
Yes.
proactive, providing the feedback.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
And you're doing Ms. Terrell's. Is
Yes,
that correct?
I am.
All right. Go ahead.
Approval of the NLCS Career Coach job creation and posting. This would be at no cost to the corporation. It's funded through a grant and in partnership with ROI.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So move.
Mr. Parsley makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mrs. Miller seconds. Any discussion? How long is the funding? How long does it go?
It ends next December, but with the job posting, that would be very clear. So the person who applied for the job would know that the job would end when the grant ends.
So if it's really, this is maybe more of a question for Mr. Yancey. So if it works really well and we like it, and then it goes away, we'd have to evaluate. Okay.
Might depend on how they, if they modify the law or anything too as well, right?
Right. This
It's
is
a
in
legal requirement.
this is in
Yeah.
response to a recently passed legislation.
Okay.
It says here that we're looking for individuals with experience in workforce outside of education.
Yes.
Are we just opening this up outside of the
Yes.
corporation? Okay. And
Okay.
then,
Or no, wait. I can't speak to that. I'm sorry.
yes.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
correct, right? Yeah.
And
I was
then,
looking for an outside
in
partner.
this
was
job
thinking.
description, sorry,
You go ahead.
are we good?
I'm good.
In this job description, it says, this role will include some or all of the following responsibilities. So if I apply for this job and get it, I get to pick which one I want? How do we determine what responsibilities this person will have if they include some or all? Does that depend upon, you may not know this since Kelly presented this, but
Well, I
does
think
it-
that some
does
of
it
it's in
depend upon the
partnership
school and
with
what-
us or in
what you already
partnership
have?
with
Yeah,
other
and I
people.
think some schools may need some things and some schools may need, that's how I interpret it as, it could include all these things, but it's context dependent, depending on where they are. So they will be directed by whoever's supervising them.
Which is Kelly Terrell.
Yes.
Yeah,
From
yes,
from that particular school
from that list, but
corporation?
they just, if you're applying for it, you need to know what are the possible things that I could do.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
That's how I read it.
I was gonna write that. All right, thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Dr. Miller. And Mr. Housel, Technology.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'd like to request approval for the purchase of PowerSchool eFinance Plus. This is the financial piece. It would be replacing FMS. FMS and PowerSchool do not communicate. It's been a problem with absence management, particularly for certified staff, and so theoretically this would solve a lot of those problems for us. And we also have Jason Doherty and Bo Zimmerman here tonight from PowerSchool that can help answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented. All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion or questions on the motion?
I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
We talked briefly about this earlier, but this first year, there's a $109,000 line item. That's the actual transfer of data and
Correct.
checksumming and all that stuff,
and,
right?
And training and
Okay. And under the statement of work, talks about customer responsibilities, having a project team. Have you established your project team already? Would that be part of the initial?
we have not yet.
Okay. Do you know if that'll be like all NLCS or NLCS and 5-star? Do you have any idea what our project team will look like?
I assume largely the technology department, the business office, and PowerSchool.
Okay, and then under the data migration scope, it says the open POs will be brought over. I guess just those that are in process. So it looks like it's going to be like a 9-month process.
Yes.
Will there be, like, at some point, both systems running or keeping the same data as everything gets transferred over? So if we're transferring open POs over and it closes in the meantime between the process, will we have enough history to understand how all that?
I assume so. PowerSchool's been through this a number of times,
Okay.
helping people migrate from one system to another. So they're going to hold our hands on this one, I think.
Okay.
But to understand clearly, is this the new financial management system that we talked about in the,
Yes.
So this is really gonna be our new treasurer's tool to use, right? So
Correct.
When we do go live, will we be running both systems simultaneously for a while to make sure that everything is updated and working like it's supposed to? Because I know
Is that
previously we changed systems, that did not happen, and we've
Yeah,
had some
so
issues.
thank you. My name is Bo Zimmerman. Thank you guys for having us today. So part of the implementation process is as we build the system out and build your chart of accounts, et cetera, and pull your legacy data in, we will be building that within the PowerSchool system, and then we'll be doing all our data validations throughout the process. And as we're doing our training and data conversions, you guys will actually be, or the business office team will be working within the system. We will validate everything, and then we will do a final load prior to go live so that we have all the freshest, most current data and revalidate that one more time. We'll also provide post-go live support, so we'll be sitting next to the business office and IT staff to make sure that they have everything that they need for those first few payrolls and first few AP runs and everything like that. So you guys will still have access to legacy data that is up to the district to maintain that access, but everything that you have current and transactional moving forward will be housed within the system and will be validated by both the district and by PowerSchool.
And during this process, those who need access to FMS will still have
Correct.
full-time access?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And we'll have I guess there'll be like a step-by-step checklist
Oh,
at
there
the
will
very
be
end
several.
before we go live, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Request approval for the purchase of Chromebooks from SHI International Corp. When we purchased Chromebooks in the spring, I ordered conservatively, looking at what our enrollment was. And we purchase Chromebooks every year for 7th and 9th grade. So 7th graders and 9th graders get the new Chromebooks. And the way the numbers looked then was smaller than we thought they were going to be. It ended up being, at this point anyway,
That's good.
significantly larger. It's good. You know, we'll see what happens by October. But at this point, we're a little short on Chromebooks, and so we need to.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented. Mr. Lambert makes a motion. Do we have a second? Mrs. Miller seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
Will these come, how quickly will these come if we're short now?
Last time it was within a week that we
Okay.
had them, so they were very quick.
And is this quantity also conservative?
Maybe a little.
If they come that fast, that's okay.
Yeah, he'll just come back to us.
Yep.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Housel.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Powell from the Career Center.
Good evening. I am here to discuss the Career Center innovations. We started last trimester, the end of the year last year with Career Center innovations, and we really got a lot of good work done. And as we enter this first full year of operation, I've discussed, and on the advice of other schools in the Uplands Made student-run business network, we would like to ask that Career Center Innovations be allowed to open our own banking account and operate our own credit card for several reasons on the advice of those others. And also it gives our students our student managers a great way to learn the financial side of business rather than just constantly going through me or our treasurer. So it allows them that power. And we have several internal controls and everything that we have tried to build into our proposal here and hope that it really helps our business move forward.
All right, thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented. All right, Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mrs. Miller seconds. Do we have any discussion on the motion?
Can you expand on those internal controls? I mean, what?
Just like for our bank account, we'd like to use BedFed for that, for our checking account. One of those would just be having dual signatures on all checks. Everything will be, just like at the end of each month, we will present to the board our statements from both the credit card and the checking account and everything. No one person will ever be able to have complete control over purchasing, and a lot of eyes will be on the statements and everything every month. And it's just like the credit card as well. That's not something that will be kept in my classroom, which is our workshop. That will be kept in the treasurer's office and be signed out every time and signed back in.
So when you say you'll present to the board, you won't present?
Not present. We will provide monthly statements on the banking accounts, and also collecting sales tax as well. So when we sell items outside, non-tax exempt entities will need to pay that sales tax, and we'll do that monthly as well, rather than waiting to years in and let a lot of work pile up.
So will you have oversight by, say, our treasurer at the administrative level, or who's the oversight?
Myself, our NLCC treasurer, Cammie Cobb, director Amy Redmond. She will also have access. We're going to use some software for this. We found some free software that some of the other schools are using, and we will all have access to that.
And monitor that too.
Oh, yeah.
Any further discussion?
Just local headlines merit good oversight, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it's not something we're taking lightly. It's just like a credit card. We're not taking that lightly. But it's getting harder to find companies that will accept a purchase order anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be really hard, actually. So it allows us to get that done.
Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you.
I have a request, you and Mr. Yancey, but maybe in the next month or three, could we get the students who are involved with this career innovations here just to give us a quick 5-minute pitch on
Yeah, I think that would be
what's
really.
happened, what they've learned.
Yeah.
Maybe after you get all this set up, come in and just give us like a 5-minute, because it's always successful, or you wouldn't be doing this. So we'd like just to get a quick look at it,
Yes, we definitely. They would love that.
mainly from the students.
Mhm.
Okay.
Free advertising.
Thank you.
Yeah, free advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Underwood.
Thank you. We are requesting approval of the Chartwell's Food Services invoices for June and July of 2024.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve Chartwell's invoices for both June and July 2024 as presented. All right, Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
So, these are during the 2 months we're not in school. So, can you tell us what the meat of these charges are?
Yeah. First of all, this is the first time I've done this, so my learning curve's like this. I have to apologize on it, but I will find out anything you need to know on it. From my understanding, it's from the Playful Pathways.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we also did summer lunch program.
We did some other things too,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any further discussion? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Underwood. Mr. Yancey.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. We are asking approval of claims and payroll since last board meeting, July 18th, 2024.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make motion to approve.
Mr. Lombard makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Number 2.
Thank you. We are asking approval of a prep period buyout for North Lawrence Career Center. There will be 3 teachers, and it will be paid out in November after the semester there. I think you have it in your packet.
It's titled stipend request form.
It's titled stipend request form, right?
Yes.
It just doesn't necessarily match the agenda item. I would entertain a motion to approve item P number 2 as presented.
Make the motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Bailey makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
is this standard period, prep period buyout rate then?
It's, yes. We're now in a semester is not try, so we had to adjust it. Because last year we bought, it's more efficient or cost effective if we would buy out
Is your
preps.
microphone on, Mr. Yancey? If it's not, is it?
It's more cost effective if we buy out their preps than hire a new teacher. So we did this practice last year.
Okay.
Because the numbers are up in the Career Center in certain classes.
Okay, very good.
Any further discussion?
So you said the numbers, is that from outside schools or just our internal schools take more classes for students?
Our students.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Motion carries. Number 3.
Thank you. We are asking approval of a memorandum of understanding with Ivy Tech for high school-based dual credit classes for the 24-25 school year.
All right. I would entertain a motion to present item P number 3 as presented. Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? All right. Motion carries. Number 4.
Thank you. We are asking approval of an addendum memorandum of understanding with Ivy Tech for high school-based dual credit classes for 24-25 school year.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve item P number 4 as presented. Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
Are these all this and the next addendums of the same memo we just?
Yeah, we're adding classes.
Yes, we're adding class.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Why can't we package this as one thing? Okay.
Because they're different.
We
yeah.
added some more classes.
Yeah.
As
All right, very good.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Number 5.
Thank you. We are asking approval of addendum memorandum of understanding with Ivy Tech for high school-based dual credit classes for the 24-25 school year.
All right, entertain a motion to approve item P number 5 as presented. Mr. Lombrick makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Number 6.
Thank you. We are asking approval of a memorandum of understanding between North Lawrence Community Schools and Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence County. They do our after-school care
The
program,
after-school.
and we want to thank the Boys and Girls Club for helping us over the years.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve item P number 6 as presented. Okay, Mrs. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Lombrick seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Number 7.
Thank you. We are asking approval for reappointment of Kelly Storms to the Bedford Public Library Board beginning September 1st of 2024.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve item P number 7 as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Bailey makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsley seconds. Any discussion on the motion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Motion carries. Number 8.
Thank you. The second reading of the Neola Policy, Volume 36, Number 1.
Okay. And then,
And I apologize, this should have been last month.
oh, that's what, okay, that's what I
And I
thought.
want to thank Mr. King. He's the Neola representative of the board, so
Okay.
he spent a lot of time over the years going through these policies.
Okay. So do then we just go to the vote? Okay.
Oh, we have to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 9.
Yeah, we're asking approval of the Neola Policy Volume 36, Number 1.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve approval of Neola Policy Volume 36, Number 1 as presented. Mr. King makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mrs. Miller seconds. Any discussion on the motion?
I was really busy when you asked me to look at those, so I'm going to submit a stipend request. So 37 cents for every policy that started with the number 4. 50 cents for a policy that had a paragraph indented more than 3 levels deep. 66 cents for every word greater than 16 characters. $1.19 for every recommended change. $1.20 for every incorporated change. And $52 for every policy that required no change. You don't know.
Okay.
I'll change our cash value down.
It's interesting to read.
Half of it was fun.
Half of it. All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. That was the motion to approve the Neola policy, not your stipends. Item Q, persons to address the board. Does anybody want to who didn't get to fill out a card? All right, so now we'll go to closing business, our spotlights and highlights.
Okay, school's back in session, so we're reconvening our spotlights and highlights. First is Needmore Elementary School. The school year is off to a great start. We're heading into the routine of school, and we're excited to have students back in the hallways and classrooms. We're glad to welcome our new staff members to Needmore, Mrs. Embry in 2nd grade, Mrs. Kays in 5th grade, Mrs. Brown in inclusion, and Mrs. Hammerline as our SLP. Shoswick Elementary School. We welcome 513 former students to Shoswick to start the new school year, and we're all off to a fantastic start. Our PTO families and staff volunteer time to update the landscaping out front. The rocks our students painted last year in our family rock painting night have been added to the edging, and they add a nice pop of color and creativity. These are beautiful designs and positive messages awaiting all who visit. Our new playground is a hit, and we love the fact that all students are able to use and enjoy the new equipment. Our shelter house was fenced in over the summer, providing additional seating and shade for our students. It's a wonderful area filled with laughter, smiles, and fun every day. Parkview Elementary K through 2. We welcomed 256 students to our school this year. Our kindergarten opened a new section this year to welcome our youngest Panthers. Everyone at Parkview K through 2 and several from the 3 through 6 building, including Dr. Lemons, pitched in to make this happen the day before school started. Teachers have commented this year that it's been a smooth start to our school year. The Parkview K through 12 faculty and staff have been working hard to build a cohesive team. You can hear this in the laughter in the hallway and meetings, and see it in the joys of our students' faces. Parkview Elementary 3 through 6. Over the summer, Parkview Robotics held a 2-week summer camp where 10 previous and current members of the team trained 8 new members in building, programming, and driving skills. Our robotics teams are excited to begin the season after developing skills in crucial areas to team success. Our fall running club is getting started soon. Students will be practicing for the Limestone 5K in October. We're excited to have 13 new families attend Parkview 3 through 6. We would like to welcome them to NLCS, Parkview, and the Bedford community. Lincoln Elementary School. Lincoln Green Thumbs are currently harvesting their garlic. The students have been harvesting and taking home their squash, zucchini, peppers, tomatoes, and sweet basil. The gardens look spectacular. We have beautiful zinnias and hope to make a beautiful bouquet for the office with them. Green Thumb starts August 20th for our fall club. The students had a wonderful time all summer in the summer club. Many families participated with their children, and it was a wonderful weekly event. School is off to a great start. We had a wonderful back-to-school open house night, and many families were in attendance. Several school clubs and sports, including Spell Bowl, Running Club, Cheer, and Basketball, will start soon. Dollins Elementary School. We had a wonderful turnout for open house. It was great to see our students again. Day one had a few bumps in the road, but we course-corrected and everything is smooth. We began honoring an Employee of the Week. We highlight their contribution to the student and school culture, post a special blurb on social media, give them their special parking spot, which is painted Dollins blue, and when possible, give them extra prep time. Our first honoree is Mrs. Heather Caswell, our library aide. We've noticed many families have returned to Dollins and had previously withdrawn their children. It has been overwhelmingly joyful to see Dollins teachers building relationships with their new classes. Each day, all teachers take time to speak with their students about social issues, bullying, kindness, hurt feelings, conflict resolution, etc. The goal is to build a community within the classroom where kids feel safe with each other and learn to exist together. Bedford Junior High. Our band program continues to thrive under the leadership of Miss Hannah Frash. Over the past 3 years, enrollment has grown significantly from 74 students to 113 students. We're excited to announce that our North Lawrence Middle School football team will be participating in an all-day jamboree hosted by Playbook Sports at Lucas Oil Stadium on Saturday, September 14th. This school year, students are enjoying 3 new exploratory elective courses: hands-on science, exploring STEAM careers, and fitness and weight training. Our fall sports is off to a fantastic start with girls golf, football, volleyball, boys tennis, cross country, and soccer teams already in practice. We eagerly anticipate watching our student athletes compete in the coming weeks. Gateway Academy. Gateway Academy is off to a great start. We have a full staff of 45 active enrolled students, 17 in grade 11, 23 in grade 12, and 5 in grade 13. 10 students attend full day, 14 attend only the AM session, and 20 attend only the PM session. Our grade 13 student, one grade 13 student has finished and will count towards the 2024 graduation rate. We anticipate 2 others to finish by September 20 deadline to also be included with the graduation cohort. Attendance has ranged daily from 84 to 90%, which is encouraging. We have implemented a junior high alternative to suspensions for the 2024-2025 school year. Junior high students may attend Gateway Academy for up to 5 days rather than be excluded. They now have an opportunity for a structured day and to support to stay current with assignments. North Lawrence Career Center. We're excited about a partnership with Phoenix Beauty School and the ability to offer cosmetology and barbering again. 14 students are enrolled this year. Once again, many of our programs are filled to capacity for first-year students. There are 35 students enrolled in work-based learning to begin the year. Bedford North Lawrence High School. Bedford North Lawrence is excited to share that we had 207 freshman students join us at our back-to-school fresh start event on July 30th. Freshman students were able to immerse themselves in the hallway at BNL culture, and meet the staff before the first day of school.
All right, thank you. So it sounds like it's been a good start. So our upcoming meetings we have on September 5th. This is our special session budget hearing at 6 p.m. September 17th, our strategic planning committee meeting at the PAC at BNL at 6 p.m. And September 19th, regular meeting at 6 o'clock and executive session to follow. What? Okay. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Lambert makes the motion. Do we have a second? Mr. King seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.